the wonderfully eccentric British weather, so the last thing he wants is to spend a damp and drafty night regretting the fact that he didn't get the floor right. Back in York, the restoration of the last remaining Berkeley Statesman poses a real challenge.
Oven time. We've managed to get a selection of ovens. This one on the bottom corner here is about 1960, I think it's a Calor. This one we acquired from down in Leicestershire. It's a New World, dated 1963. Now either of these would have done the job. They're a little bit modern for this, but they look fairly period. It was only a few days ago that we found this beastie on a scrap heap.
That looks like the right oven to go into our Caravan.
Is it all here?
That's only half a hob, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got to be here somewhere. Ha!
That's it.
That's it. And what might be the grill pan. We might have to turn the place upside down for that other bit. Well, these hubcaps look about the right type. There's no lugs on the outside, so they must be on those studs.
It's
I won't wait to find out. Certainly is. Well, would you believe it? That looks...
It looks like it would fit, doesn't it?
Like it would fit. It may not be precisely the same pattern. There's enough room there, and the stud pattern looks the same. It'd be handy as a spare.
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it just?
And that hubcap, while it's very rusty, it'd certainly re-chrome.
I'm guessing you've clocked Rob's pickup, and yes, you're right, it is a 1963 Bedford CA. And Rob's not the only one to own a vintage Bedford.
I found myself a Bedford J5 four-wheel drive truck to tow the Caravan. I needed to find something like this because of the weight of the Caravan. I need a fairly heavy lorry, but she's small and manoeuvrable. She's unique because she was built as a prototype for the Army to test to see whether they were going to place an order. Built in 1959, so in the same decade as the Caravan. I think she's probably the ideal vehicle, to my mind, to tow this particular Caravan.
We'll be back with the guys in a few minutes. When we last saw Tim and Rob, they were hurtling back from the scrapyard with their newfound treasure.
What we need to do is just to give the thing a damn good scrub. And it's got the usual grot down the sides of it. And all it really needs is a good check over on the gas supply, which we're going to get the gas engineer to have a look at it. And a thorough clean, really. There's a few knocks and dings here and there, but hey, that's patina.
And while all that was going on, the chippies were finishing the floor.
Oh, wow. Look at that. What a job.
Oh, yeah.
What a job. They've done us proud.
Well, it's really quite substantial, isn't it?
That's good. I'm pleased with that. This is the new Caravan. It might not look it now, but this is solid. This is really the foundations for it. I'm very pleased with this.
The historic city of York is home to Tim Mitchinson, where he, along with his mate Rob Norton and a hand-picked team of carpenters, is painstakingly restoring a unique piece of caravanning history, a 1950s double-decker Berkeley Statesman. When we last saw them, they'd built a completely new chassis, which is now sitting behind what can only be described as the rotting hulk of the original. Whilst they might have had to replace the chassis and build a new watertight floor, they do hope to be able to breathe new life into the original axle.
Right.
Well, that looks fairly clean, doesn't it?
It doesn't look bad at all, does it? It doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah. I've been greased, at least.
They have. Well, this is it. let's have a look inside and see what kind of corrosion damage we've got.
It looks quite promising that the drum's actually slid off.
Look at that.
Good grief.
There's not a score mark in sight.
That's never done anything.
What's the mechanism like?
Absolutely spot on.
Absolutely perfect. Would you believe it?
And the inside of everything's all the ironwork's still got silver paint on it.
Let's have a look at this bearing.
See if the rain's got into that end cap.
Yeah.
Hopefully grease.
Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that. That is like the day it left the factory.
Well, that's all good news so far. Once they've taken the other wheel off, they can think about actually removing the axle. Meanwhile, the carpenters are starting work on erecting the frames that form the basis of the walls. These will eventually be insulated and clad in marine ply and aluminium, which will strengthen and stiffen them up.
Just to get our angle right, and then I'll screw that.
We'll be back with the guys in a few minutes when things start to go a little off the rails.
No, because it's got to lift that wall up, innit?
So, how are things going with Tim, Rob and the other members of the restoration team?
Next thing to do is try and get the axle supported and burn off the bolts, because they're in no state to be undone, and lower the axle down without the Caravan following it and trapping anybody underneath.
Now, Tim has volunteered to crawl underneath the Caravan and do the cutting, but nobody's expecting what happens next.
Well, at least he hasn't got to worry about singeing his hair. Hopefully, removing Tim, that looks dangerous. Get out.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Can someone take this?
Yep. The spring's come away from the chassis like we wanted it to, but the Caravan has dropped around it. I'm just a bit concerned now as to what'll happen when we burn off the other side. But we're going to have to press on, I'm afraid.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash the bolt heads off from
Yeah,
this side. I'll do the back ones first.
Pair.
Yeah, I'll do the back ones first.
Don't reach under here, because if the van does drop, it'll take your arm off.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the stairs out to save them, because Rob's taking the axle off. Once he takes that off, the whole lot could go. So we're trying to salvage what we can. And I hope to God that they'll come off. Which they should do.
Hey, you know what that is there, don't you?
What?
There's another problem. Kev has just discovered asbestos. Because they're covered in paint, nobody realised the asbestos panels were there. So, all in all, things are not going terribly well.
Well, because the Caravan was made in 1951, that's what they used to use in such as like your Caravan and your railway carriages, etc. And it's a potentially lethal substance.
Erring on the side of caution, the guys decide to stop work and get a specialist removal company to take away the offending asbestos panels. With the asbestos panels safely removed, work can restart on the restoration of the 1950s double-decker Berkeley Statesman. Joe and Kev, the carpenters, are about to try and salvage the staircase, but after the incident with the axle, they aren't taking any chances and are propping up the roof to avoid the possibility of a nasty headache.
That's it. That's it, perfect.
Yeah.
With the staircase finally removed, there's more bad news. It appears to be suffering from dry rot.
It is badly gone there, I must say.
Yeah.
Look, there's nothing there.
I really had hope that we could save this because it's really integral to the to the two-storey Caravan. If we put that with the new timber, if that's dry rot, it'll be rotten in 5 years.
Do you want me to put butterflies back in the old staircase?
Yeah, they've been overwintering, haven't they? Yeah. There's a few of them. There's 4 or 5 of them.
Undeterred by his earlier experience, Tim elects to have another go at cutting away the old axle.
You're not going to believe this, guys. I think we're out of gas.
We're run out of gas.
Yep, we're out of gas. Sorry.
Well, it's getting a hell of a lot later and I am about tatered. I've had to grind the bolts off this side. One of them I can't get at the top here. So unfortunately we've got to leave it until we can get hold of some more gas in the morning and burn the last bolt out.
We'll be back with the guys in a few minutes when things can only get better. We hope.
Oh, this should provide a suitable level of violence for the job in hand. I got up at the crack of dawn this morning. We were sat on the doorstep when they opened, waiting to get some more gas. And here we have it. I didn't get a great deal of sleep last night. I feel like I've been out in the pub. And I don't even want to think about how much time we've got left to get this thing done.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Right, I'm hoping that's got it. I couldn't quite see what I was burning, and I couldn't quite get the flame to play across it, but I think we've got it. I think we've also got something on fire in there.
That's one off.
Oh, well, that was easy.
It's going, it's going. It's gone.
Right, keep her going at that. Keep her going at that.
Right.
So where's it going now?
Take it steady, watch your backs. Watch your backs. And down when you like, guys.
Heavy.
At last, things are going better. The axle is out, and Rob can easily get to the old retaining brackets to remove them.
Done.
Things are going pretty good. We've managed to get the axle into place. That's heavy work. Now we've got to mount the axle onto the chassis itself, which is via some spring hangers, which bolt to the chassis, and then through this eye here and through the eye on the spring, we put another bolt that allows the spring to swing as it flexes. And so we need a pair of these, front and aft, on the spring itself. That's the axle mounted then, and away we go. Things are moving on.
In the next programme, it's out with the old and up with the new for Tim, Rob and the team. In this programme, Tim and Rob continue with their restoration of the last remaining Berkeley Statesman. Tim Mitchinson and his friend Rob Norton are aiming to turn this back into this. So far, they've rebuilt the chassis and laid the floor,